Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ebuka Ewuzie, author of 10 books, Stay Camping. Over the years, many young folks have walked up to me and said to me, "Sir, what is your secret of writing? What propelled you to find yourself in a place of writing? And have you ever made anything useful with your writing career?" I must tell you that more of the places I have been to, places and height I have attained, is as a result of the skill I possess as a writer. And I must tell you without reservation that writing can take you anywhere. I've seen it move a man from level 0 to where he is today. And who is that man? I'm the one before you, speaking to you. You can make something useful with your life, not just when you find that which you are called to do, which is the writing skill, and it can be different aspects which you can find, then it can expose you to every possibility you need to fulfill in life. This afternoon I will be speaking with you on what we title Write Your Way to Wealth and Fame. Write your way to wealth and fame. The question is, how can a man write his way to wealth and fame? Is there anything to come about making money? You know, one thing about Nigerians and Africans, they have seen writers as the most wretched kind of people on the planet Earth, because they felt that writing cannot path anywhere for you. Writing will not bring you anywhere. But the truth is, writing can make you somebody. Not just somebody, but somebody that men will reckon with. I have been able to sit before 5 chancellors of different high institutions, not because of what I read in school. I studied computer science in school as my first degree, did my second degree in entrepreneur and business management and theology and the rest of it. But let me tell you, all those things I studied in school, I'm not even using one of them to make ends meet today. It's as a result of my writing skill. And I must tell you, and I'm not just waiting for people in Nigeria, I'm waiting for people outside the country. This is exposing you to every of your possibility. So take away that mental reasoning that tells you that you can't make money in writing. In 2013, I contested for a magazine award that is based in USA. I came first in Nigeria and second in the world. And as a result of that, there was a package for me to travel to USA for 3 weeks vacation and other packages that comes with it. And guess what? When I got to the embassy, the lady who was to interview me, when he asked me my name, I told her my name, and guess what happened? Immediately she went to the system. What popped out was the books, some of the books I've written on Amazon and different aspects. And she said to me, "Are you a writer?" I said, "Yes." Said to me, "We respect writers." That very day was a turning day of my life. I never knew that writers could be respected in that manner. White men, white women, that simply means that the level of your exposure determines the things you see. Now the truth is, you can write your way to wealth and fame. I'll be taking you on a series of things you need to understand and the things you must know in order to write your way to wealth and fame. Now let me start by telling you this. You cannot write what you don't have on your inside. I have seen young men who came to me and say, "Sir, I want to be a writer," and you ask that person. Being a writer doesn't warrant you just moving into anything and just writing. The truth is, it is what you have you can give. You cannot offer what you don't have. That is the secret. I've been reading books. Before I wrote my first book, Dream to the Top, I read about 150 books on that subject. It's not overnight work. It's not just, it takes time painstakingly to become everything you want to be in life. So the truth is, the number one question you ask yourself, you cannot give what you don't have. If you are not a reader, forget you can write. I don't know, some of our friends in different religious aspects will say, "Oh, I'm waiting for the endowment of the Spirit to hit on me. He will carry me to the dry bones of the valley and say, 'Son of man, write.'" If you're waiting for that voice, that may be on the graveyard. You might never hear that voice. If you have enough reason to write, you will write. That is a secret. until you become a reader, you cannot write an inspired book. When I was writing my first book, people read that book and said to me, sir, there is so much information endowed in this book. What is the secret? Now the question is, and the answer to their question is I have read so much. There is a level you read books will start busting out from you. Even if you don't want to write, because you have read so much, you can't afford to hide it. You will start writing. It's a secret. It's not a praying and fasting issue. It's something that has principle. Before I set out to write my book, as I've said, I read about 150 books. Now the truth is, there is a level you read, books will start busting from you. That's the secret. It's a level. And before then, I want to take you another level, of which I call 5 ways of developing your writing skills. I've met young men who said to me, sir, I want to be a writer, and how can I develop the skill to write? And I will be giving you 5 secret things. And let me tell you this, I've been writing for over 15 years, and I must tell you it's not a day job. There are a few of the secrets I've learned over the years that have helped me in this writing industry. And not just that as a writer, I've been able to have an affiliation with top men and women who have been in this industry, who have been doing it well. So the secret is, if those men and women who collabo, if I use the word collabo, with me to run different seminars, that means there is something they saw in the young man. They know that this young man is doing something worthwhile. No great man will affiliate himself with someone who is heading nowhere. That is a secret. So the truth is, whatever you are doing, do it skillfully. One day you will sit among great men. 5 ways of developing your writing skills. Number 1, have a blog spot. I've had this question over the time. People will tell me, what is the difference between a blog spot and a website? I won't tell you that I'm an online expert, but I think I still have little knowledge about that. Blogspot, you have to make it more of interactive. Website can be a place where you display all your company information, whatever it takes, how people come to meet it. And most of the people I've met, they tell me that website is more of a interactive, more of a place of interaction and all kind of things. But for me, as a writer, I would advise you to have a blog spot. Why? This will always help you to keep your stuff online. Some of the writing skills you have, some of the things you have done, if you have a blog spot, you are always posting something on it on a regular basis, and that will keep you on check to make sure that you are writing. Now the secret is, if you keep writing, you will write. That is the secret. Don't feel like writing. Don't wait for a hand. Just write. That is the secret. Now have a blog spot where you write weekly. Make sure that you are posting something on that blog spot on every week. And once you are doing that, your writing skills will be enlarged. Your writing skills will keep expanding. And before you know it, you will love to write. Keep a journal. During the time I was writing, people see me as a madman. Because you know why? On the road, as I walk through the road, if you meet me on the road, at least you must see 2 things with me. 1 is a pen, 2, a jotter or a journal. Do you know why I need to do those things? As I'm walking, do you know how people ask me, how do you write? When I get a title for a book, I know I have a book. Once I have the title, the book. So on the way, most time when I'm walking on the road, the title can just hit on me. And once it dawned on me that this is a title, what happened? A book is packaged. That is how it flows. So the truth is, keep a journal. When you write in your journal, don't censor your word. Allow them to flow freely. Anytime you are writing on your journal, you know, social media has bastardized things today. You see people, they want to write you. They will just make it you. They don't complete your words anymore. You see people write on Facebook, they have shortened every word that's supposed, and with that, you are killing your writing skill. That is not style. That kills the writing skills of everyone who does that. So I would advise you, when you have a journal, make sure you finish your word. Write it complete. It helps. 3, join a writer group. I'll be giving you some of the writers group we have online. This I have few of them that I'm part of, because when you know that every week I have to write nothing less than 3,000 words. I must always be writing to be sending to them, and some pay and some are voluntary service. But do you know one thing this thing does for me? It helps to give me the skill to enhance my skill of writing. So one of the greatest ways to improve your writing is to join a writers group in which you will receive valuable feedback. Now let me give you some of these writers website or the place you need to be part of. One of them is Alamanda Writers Group. Alamanda Writers Group .ng.com. Then we also have another one called Writers Cave. Writers Cave. Writers then CAFE.org. Then we also have another one, Bayou Writers. Writers Group. Bayou Writers Group. These are a few of the sites that will help you to enhance your writing skill. Then the other thing I need to advise you to do, how to develop your writing skill, comment on your favorite blog spots. Now let me tell you this. Anytime you are reading through something online, on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever it is, and somebody made a statement that is profound, maybe something you read and it caught you, you are so excited about what you read through the place. This is what you do for me, please. All you just have to do, not just write, fine, thank you, God bless you. Don't do those things. Just make sure you complete. Write something that is meaningful. Say something meaningful. Why you are doing that, not just for the person, but you are enhancing your writing skill. Because the more you write, the more you expose yourself to the possibility of your writing skill. That is how it operates. Don't just say thank you, God bless you. All those abbreviations will not help you. So our advice from today, on Facebook, you read something that inspires you, please do one thing for me, write complete. Don't censor your words. It's important. Then, number 4 or numbers 5 on that area, I will tell you, just write. Just what? Write. Now, let me tell you this. I ran a seminar in 2014 for writers. And during the seminar, a young man stood up and said to me, sir, I want to be a great writer. I want to write just the way you are doing. But I don't know how to go about it. What is the secret of becoming a great writer? I noticed that all the people in the place, in the building, everybody was expectant to know what my answer to the young man will be. I looked at him, I said to him, boy, listen, the secret of becoming a great writer is just write. Now the question is, what do you mean by just write? You don't need to wait for the feeling before you write. Write and the feelings will come. You don't wait for a special touch to come upon you. I have a young man I met a few years ago in one of my writing seminars. He said to me, sir, I asked him, how many books have you read? He said he has about 30 books. Wow, I was shocked. I said, 30? Then I said, can I have any of them? He said, he has found all those books, he has the titles. They are already, I said, I don't understand. He said to me that he has 30 titles. Not even one has been published. All he had was just 30 titles without even one. So to him, that was, I call it fantasy. He's not writing. He's not even an author. You become an author when you release a book. So that you have 30 titles does not mean you have 30 books. It is an error. So the truth is, you must write to improve your writing skill. Keep writing. That's the secret. Even when you're writing nonsense, keep writing. That's the secret. When I wrote my first book, you want to know my story. From all the way from Maiduguri to Borno State, I could not speak, I couldn't write. So a young boy that was thrown away from school at the age of 12 because of my impediment as a person, not to be able to comprehend, hawk pure water on the street of Lagos State, find myself in Ladipo for 1 year. It's a long story, but the truth is, you can get that online. When you Google my full name, my story, you get it there. But the truth is, I have enough reason to say I will not write. I have enough reason to say to myself that I can't be a great writer. Why? Because my background was terrible. I couldn't speak. I couldn't write. The only language I could speak out of them, it was just 2 languages. My own dialect, Igbo and Hausa. That was the language I was speaking at the time. I could not even write my name. That was how bad it is. For somebody to come out from nowhere and say to me, son, you are going to write. It doesn't make sense. But the truth is, do you know how I became a writer? I keep writing. I will make nonsense out of my nonsense. somebody. Let me tell you this. Writers are not those who speak well. Don't make that mistake. Writers are not those who are endowed with speaking ability. No. You can be saying nonsense. There is somebody called a proofreader. There is somebody called an editor that picks your nonsense, take the nonsense out of it, take the non out of it, and make it sense. Your job is to write. The job of the proofreader is to what? To enhance what you have written. So don't be afraid and say to yourself, oh, I can't be a writer. It's only those who want to. Even if you don't go to school, but if you have an idea, put it down, somebody will work on it. So don't tell me that you have no skill to write. There is something to write. Okay? Note, if you want to improve your writing skill and you want to write a best-selling book, start writing at least 1,000 words every day. You can use a system to count how many words every day. Make sure you are writing. Once you are doing that, your skill of writing will be enhanced. This thing will never happen overnight. Let me tell you, even if a man of God lays hand upon you and say, my son, receive it, write from that henceforth. You have never for one day picked a pen to write. Holy Ghost will not write it for you. Sorry to use the word holy, but the truth is, no man can do that for you but yourself. So go out there and put your dream in action. I'll be giving you 5 places to search for information as a writer. Apart from being a writer, I'm a ghostwriter. Who is a ghostwriter? Ghostwriter is a person who writes for someone else and the person takes the credit, but he pays me for the job. I have no business with. Most of the time we do that for pastors. They don't have time, so we do more of the writing for them. They pay. It's a clean job, does their own job. They are too busy. Sometimes we do what they call transcription. Their CDs, what they have preached, we transcribe them into a book, then it becomes a book. So the truth is, there are places we search for information, and I'll be exposing everything to you. Let me tell you, what you are hearing on the platter of gold at this point, each of my seminar, if I'm to run a training on this, nothing less than 20,000. The least I've ever run in the writing is about 10,000. So you're getting on this platform courtesy of Pastor Taiwo Balogu, who has made it possible for you to. Don't joke with this. Any other place you meet me, it is not going to be free. So whatever we are saying on this platform, grab it with every tenacity and just take it out there and make your life count. If you don't make it count, somebody else will pick up the information and make something out of his life. Don't wait for the time to do it. Do it now. Go out there and do it. So 5 things you need to do. How to search for information as a writer. 1, go through social media. Facebook, Google. Most time people send information on Facebook. If you read my book, more of my book, I go more with stories. And when I use stories has helped me. I will share a story with you and tell you what story can do as a writer. Story is powerful. Story can make dead audience to hear you. I went for a program with one of my mentors many years ago as a mentee. I carry his bag to anywhere he goes to. And the program was to help at OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University. Then we are lodged in a hotel, Ibadan Hotel. And let me tell you the truth, I might be a little bit funny about this, but that is a fact. When I got into the hotel room, the bed, if you have a bad destiny and you are to sleep on that bed, it will be corrected. I'm not joking about that. That will tell you the kind of what I'm trying to say. The bed was so nice. When I saw it, I said, wow, this is what I want. And we went to the place. In between the time we lodged in, my mentor rushed into the bathroom. The next thing I saw, he started vomiting blood, stooling blood. I said, this is a serious issue. And before we know it, the case became very critical that I have to call the school. So when this authority came, they said they have to rush him to hospital, that the way he is, if you don't rush him, he may die. So they took him with ambulance, put him in the car, and also personal as a son, because I was feeling bad that the bed I saw that I was about laying myself on it for the night to enjoy my life had been taken away from me. But my mentor said to me while we were about going to the car, he said to me, son, please take this iPad. I pick it. He said, please go and represent me there. In my mind, I said, dear, don't even dare it. I have never spoken anywhere. For me, it was like a suicidal. Let me tell you the kind of audience he asked me to go and address. Only we have about 2 senators that will be there. We have about 3 professors, about 4 vice chancellors of different schools, and thousands of students. If you want to kill your career as a speaker, go and speak to students who do not want to listen to you. They will kill your career. And he said to me, go and speak. I said, sir, no. He said, go and represent me there. He said, I've taught you so much to do this. No. A white man said that the dying man's speech is very, very important. So you must obey him. For me, it was a suicidal mission. I don't know how to survive from such a task. That night was the shortest night so far in my life. I saw the bed that I was so excited to sleep on. I hated the bed more. I was running temperature throughout the night. I opened the iPad. I couldn't see anything meaningful. A man who prepares his speech, prepared his speech to give. I won't speak the way he speaks because I know he's well skilled in that area. That night was very bad for me. Do you know that by 4 a.m. in the morning, I have not prepared anything. Out of 5 a.m., I was about killing myself. I said, God, what kind of... If I started praying all kinds of prayers. This might look very funny, but the truth is, do you know that? I said, God, if you can send rain, let rain start falling down, we spoil the whole thing. Let fire. I prayed all kinds of prayer, but the angels went on suspension that day. Nobody, heaven did not answer my prayer. In fact, it was so painful that by 6 a.m., 8 a.m., they just knocked at my door. And they said, okay, let's go. At that time, I said to myself, this is my obituary they're about to announce, because I know I'm gone at this area. When I got to the place, behold, Fela Durotoye was on the platform. If you know Fela, you know who Fela is, Fela Durotoye. He was the one speaking. And he was speaking with such a profound speech. Everything was in... Our students were jumping, clapping. And behold, Mr. Ebuka was walking through the hall. As I was walking, I knew that that was the end, because how will I be able to compete with man called Fela Durotoye? How will I go about it? Immediately I walked through the hall, I sat in between the professors and men who were by the side. And when Fela was through with his speech, Jesus, I'm sorry, are you ready to do it? Everybody in the hall gave him a standing ovation. They were clapping. And the man who was the MC came to me and said, you are the next. I said, oh God, if you don't respect yourself, how can you call me after a man like this? You will have given me, at least allow me to. He said, sir, you are the next. When they called me, before they even mentioned my name, they mentioned the man who was supposed to say, he is one representing. All the students, they started murmuring. You know, that I knew that these people did not want to hear me. At that point, I said, God, please do one favor for me. May the land open. Let me go in and not come in. Thank God that God did not answer that prayer. If he has answered the prayer, I don't think I'll be here speaking with you guys. When I mounted the stage, just looked at them, and you will know that these people don't want to listen to you. Students can kill the career of a speaker. I know what it is. They started making mockery of themselves, not me. When I greeted the panels, those who sat on the high table more than 4 times, good morning, good morning, good morning, because I was looking for my bearing, how to start, how will I start? After Fela Durotoye, I don't know. And after I greeted to a point, I said, because I have to do this. I told them, I'm sorry that my mentor, something happened. They said they have heard I should talk, stop stories. But I remember what my mentor said to me. He said to me, son, anytime you find yourself in such a confused or men or women who don't want to even listen to you, whatever you have to say, he said, there is one thing they want to hear from you. I asked him, he said, what is it? He said, son, you have a story. He said, any man wants to hear a story. I said, wow, I just remembered that. Remember that what I was asked to speak to them was life after school. And you know what happened? I switched back, forget what was happening around me. And I said to them, 12 years ago, I spent my life in the northern state, Maiduguri, Borno State. Immediately I said 12 years ago that I spent my life in the northern state, Maiduguri, Borno State precisely. If you drop a coin in that hall, you will hear the sound. In my mind, I said, this thing is working, you know. Then I enter gear 2. When we came to Lagos State, life was brutal. Nothing was working out. I was sent out of school. I saw pity, sympathy from the hall. wow, this guy has suffered so much. But do you know the most important thing? They were listening to me. At a point, I knew that my sermon is about, sorry, the word sermon, presentation is about turning to a sympathy message. I switched from what I was saying, life after school. Guess what? When I was done with that speech, I got a standing ovation that I have never seen in my life. Do you know that Obafemi Awolowo University have been calling me over and over again for their either matriculation or convocation? The truth is, as a writer, one of the ways to get your readers, go through story. Story is profound. Some of you who are listening to me now, I know I caught you. I know some of you are gleeful. What happens? What happened? That is what happened to story. Anytime you write story, people want to hear story. Even a dead man wants to hear story. The truth is, story is powerful. Then remember what I was sharing with you is 5 places to source for information. Through books. I don't know if you have seen my library, and this is 5%. No, this is 20% of the books I have. 80% of them can't enter here. In fact, I have bags that I have abandoned. It has become a place where I store books. The truth is, one of the secret way to change your writing skill, read books. Read books. Read books. I want to beg you, when you start buying books, stop borrowing books. It's not right. Let me tell you this. People say, you are stingy. No, I have been very stingy with my books. I remember reading one of the books of Zig Ziglar. He said, it's an error to borrow a book to someone. He said, make sure you build your own library. Your own personal library is so important. So I must advise you, at this stage of your life, learn to read books. It's very important. Number 3, true news. Listen to news. As a writer, you must be versatile. You must be, the biology, we call it Chabarabasa, open-minded. Make sure you understand what is happening around you. It's very important. You can listen to news and get a story that will transform your audience. Very, very important. Number 4, through your environment. Don't be dumbfounded about what is happening in your environment. Open your eyes. There are stories, there are facts, there are information you need to write. Now let me tell you a few things. My first 7-6 book, I wrote it in Moshi Olosha. In fact, 1-room apartment. Let me tell you one thing you must know about the place I stayed. The place I stayed before I left. Where I wrote my 6 books. Do you know that what takes me when I'm to sleep in the night, the first song I hear is Pasuma song. Do you know at the point I know every release of Pasuma, I can sing it from up to down because I have been enforced to listen to it. I will hear it from about 8 a.m. in the morning to about 6 p.m. in the night, and again they'll put it again from 12 midnight to about 6 a.m. in the morning. So Pasuma song has become a worship song to me at that time. I was enforced to learn it. But the truth is, in the midst of that confusion, I still find my bearing to write. Even in the midst of the environment, I decide to write more. Now the truth is, your environment cannot define what you write. You must learn to create an atmosphere for yourself. Even in the midst of the noise, I created an atmosphere that is enviable, that cannot distract me from where I'm. See, if you have enough reason to write, you will write. That's the secret. Enough reason is what is lacking in men and women who want to write. Stop telling me you have idea to write. Go and put those ideas in reality. That's a secret. Enough reason is what will make you to wake up from your bed and do those tasks you feel you can't do. So don't tell me you're waiting for idea. Go and write. So your environment cannot stop you. Then the other thing I want to share with you, the last one is through your association, how you can get information. Your association can give you the right kind of information. That's the secret. You can't move with a fool and expect to get wisdom from such a person. I have come to understand in the writing industry, if there's a set of people you need to break off from, or else you can't go beyond the level you are. When I was to run my second seminar, I invited a man called Joe Yeshere, Great George, and these guys have written books. And Joe has written over 50 books, Great George has written over 80 books. But what will make them to honor my invitation? Association is not about money. Don't tell me that, sir, the reason why they can't, I don't pay any of them a dime. I don't pay them. People will ask me, you run seminar, you invite people all the way from US. I don't pay. Association is the key. There is a level you get to life, it's not money. Money doesn't pay everything. It's your relationship that counts. So in the writing industry, in the writing, developing your skill, your association can give you a book that will change the life of humanity. So association is key. I'll be giving you 8 steps of writing and publishing your book within 30 days. Is that possible? Somebody is doubting what I just said now. Oh, guy, you didn't understand. What did you just say? Can we write and publish your book within 30 days? I will give you the answer. The answer is emphatic yes. You can write your book and you can publish your book within what? 30 days. Yeah. You may ask me how. I will give you practical steps. This is what I do for a living. So I'm not giving you a formula or Formula 101 or BRE1. No. What I'm giving you is practical steps. Things that I've done over the years. Things that have placed me where I am today. So you can also write your book and publish your book within the space of 30 days. Now, let's go. The question you must ask first of all is, what kind of a book do you want to write? To go into the writing industry, you must first of all ask yourself, what kind of book did I want to write? What? Is it inspirational book, motivational book, spiritual book, or success book? Now hear this. This was one of my challenge when I was to write my first book. I felt that I wanted to write a book on the power of information. That was my... But as I started writing, that's what we call writer's block. A point, information stopped flowing. I knew that I can't go far with this one. I stopped. Now the question is, you must find a course that you are passionate about and go into it. If you are passionate about home management, you can have a book on that area. If you are passionate about teaching, you can have a book on that. If you are passionate about success, if they go to your library, which book, how many books can they see? If you go through my library now, you will see that the books you can find is a book of success, book of development and leadership, book of development. These are the places where I'm skillful. I am crazy about these things. Now the question is, what kind of a book do you want to write? When you find that answer, if you can give yourself an answer to that, if you can find out the kind of book you want to write as a person, then you're on your way to releasing your book in a space of 30 days. Number 2, choose a title for your book. Now let me tell you this, the way it was for me may not work for you that way. Some individual, to them, it is after they have finished writing that they will have a title. While some people, they get a title before they write. For me, this is how it operates for me. I get title. Once I have a title, I have a book. There is a book I'll be releasing by November, The Mysteries of Grace. I got the title about a few months ago, but the truth is that once I got that title, I knew that I have a book already. The book is in process now. By November, it will be launched. Now the secret is, do you have a title? Your title, let me give you a few things that will help you in title. Your title will guide you on the kind of research to make. Your title will help you to focus on the subjects. When you have a title, you know that this is like when I was writing my first book, Dream to the Top. The title of the book, that book at that time was Dream Again. But during the time of the research and meeting men and women who have been in this industry, they are the one that figure out they say, son, make it dream to the top. Like dream again, the word, just change it. Now, once you have a title, your title helps you to focus on the subject. You know, sometimes one of the reasons why people don't read Nigeria books, you pick a Nigeria book, pick it up and say you want to read something. And the title of the book is The Power of Success. And when the reason why you got that book because you want to succeed. Everyone that goes to a bookshop went in there for a reason. And that is why every man that has an issue there is a solution of whatever he's passing through in a book. So you pick the book and you want to discover the secret of success. And when you start opening the book, you start seeing different, you start telling you about marriage, how to succeed in marriage. And your question is, this is not what you asked for. The title should depict what the book carries. That is why the balancing is very important. Now, you, the upcoming writers, don't make that mistake. If you have a book, you have a book on leadership, make sure all your research goes on leadership. Even if you're going to divert, it should be in between, whereby while you are writing, then you have other subtopics that has to do with the place you are going to. But let it not be that 70% of the book, of the things you wrote down, is off from the main title. People will run away from such book. So choose a title, and sometimes your write-up might come before the title. Some people sometimes choose the wrong title. That's why one of the things we do in office here is that once some people will just, when they are done with their write-up, they'll send it to us and say, sir, please, I don't know the title of this book. My job as a writer and a ghostwriter is to go through the book and find a bearing to that topic. Make a research and say, okay, this is what this book is saying, and this is the topic. So most time your topic is very important. Don't joke with your topic. Don't go and, one crazy topic can piss people. When people go into a book, when they enter a bookshop to buy a book, two things catch them about a book: the title and the design. There is something they saw that will push them there, and the way the book is presented is one of the things they go through. You don't have it that they say you have a long title and start writing, when the secret of the man that went to the tallest mountain and he survived in 30 days, and see when it's crazy. Who will want to read such a book? If you are looking for such a book in the bookshop, you need something that is sharp and clear. Guy Joseph, let me not say much about that. Then number 3, make sure, that's thing number 2. Let me just give you 50 seconds about it. Make sure you finish your key point of your book in a note before you write. Let me give you a practical example of what I'm trying to say. Like this is a note. This is a note. Anytime I get a title to write a book, this is what I do. I pick a book like this, a note like this, open it. Like the book I'm writing now is on the power of grace and the mystery of grace. I will just write down the mystery of grace here. Once I'm done with it, I think let me use something more practical, like the ghostwriting job I did. Okay, like this one, I'll say the Calvary book title, the Calvary Divine Strategy. Now, once I have done something like this, the next thing I will do is I write up the introduction. If the book will have an introduction, I will do that. Once I'm done with that, now introduction, I myself as a writer will know what I want there. That does not mean I will put introduction, I will start writing all the introduction in this book. No, this is a skeleton of what I want to do. I know that as I'm doing it, I have an introduction here. In between introduction, what I have, I may write something, a story, a short. I just write it that I need it. I have to share a story on this introduction. Then once I'm done with that, the next thing I will do is say chapter 1. What I will have in chapter 1, I put it there. What I have to the last chapter of the book. Now, this is how it operates. Once I'm done, anytime, this one may take me 10 days before I finish. But guess what? Once I'm done with this one, if you ask me, I will tell you I have a book. What do you mean that I have a book? That's the truth. How would I have a book? Then the truth is that once I open it, what I just open it this way, start introduction. Now I have the story of the things I want to share on my head. I will start writing. When I'm done, go back to chapter 1. The research I make and some of the information I make is in chapter 1. I will start writing. That is how it operates. It will be easy for you. But if you want to work it this way, that you just want to bring a system, that is what the challenge people face, that they will bring a system, say, I want to write a book. Today I will write a book. It's not by force, it's not by fire, it's gradual. You start writing. Before you know it, you'll be stuck. And but the secret of this is that once you finish it here, you can never be stuck. That's the secret. As a ghostwriter, this year I've written about 15 books for different persons. Now the question is, how did I do this thing? I finish my job here before I go to the system. Some people are more inclined with writing. I don't do writing with book. I'm not your only that, but I'm more of the technology type. I write more. I use my keyboard to do some of those things. Now that is number 2. Let's go to number 3. I think number 4. Okay, number 4 now. We go to number 4. How many chapters do I want to write? This is also important. As you want to go into writing, you must find yourself in the level you ask yourself, how many chapters do I want to write? You must know this. Now hear this. This will help you. This will help to guide you on how to write your book. So if you have the message, or you have the mindset of the chapters of the books you want to write, that guides you on how to go about writing. So you may ask yourself, is it 10 chapters? Is it 5? So you will know the level of your research, where you are going to limit your research, know where you're going to stop. But when you don't have those things in mind, you'll just be going endlessly without a place you're heading for. See, the reason why some people has never finished their book, they will keep writing for 10 years, they are still writing, is because they don't have a deadline. They don't have what precise they want. Is it 10 chapters? If you have come to the level of that 10 chapters, you stop. Now, that determines the research you have to do on each of the chapters, and you're working them out. So don't put yourself in a crossroad whereby you don't finish a certain book. I know of a friend who, about 4 years ago, he told me, I'm writing a book. Every time he's excited about the book he wants to write. And sometimes I say, oh God, this guy has always have ideas. But you know what? Up till now, he has not released one book. Excitement does not give birth to a book. What gives birth to a book is commitments. Commitments. Enough reason. Now hear this. Make sure you finish. Okay, how many chapters do you want to write? This will help you to determine the volume of the book. Sometimes your chapter determines the volume. But don't miss it. Some people can have 10 chapters of things they want to write, and the book is about 80 pages. And somebody will have 5 chapters, and the book will be about 300 pages. It varies. It depends on the writer. But why I'm saying that, in case if you want to elongate what you have, you can have different chapters on it. It helps your research. Okay, I think we are heading to a place. I think I'm in number 5 now. Is it number 5 or number 4? Number 5. Make your introduction catchy. This is one of the secrets. Anytime a person picks a book to read and he opens, the first page he opens determines if he's going to read that book. Whatever you say in the first page gives the person a great light of what to expect in the book. Don't mess up with your first page. Very, very important. Make your introduction catchy. Now, hear this. Some of the things you need to know about introduction. You might start with a story. I'll share with you what story does. Any of my book you open, any of the books you ever seen me have written now, the first thing you see in the introduction is story. Those things are not just long story that people will start sleeping when they are reading. Short and sharp. But if it's going too long, then it's something they cannot drop. So you have to be creative about this. Even if you see a story online, you can recreate it. I tell people that I am not a gifted writer. I am a creative writer. I don't create new things. I modify what is already created. You have to be reality about this. You know, some writer will not tell the truth. They will tell you that, oh, this was the idea I got in Singapore. When I was in China, the thing just hit on me. While in the bed, I know. No. Sometimes, let me even tell you, don't come to every book you see. The writer, most of the writer has about 40 or 50% of the stake of the book. Other ones are research. Apart from those who have inspiration, spiritual. You know, if it's a man who is into, if it's God that gives to him, my house is not involved. But I'm telling you, for literal writers. So don't wait for new idea before you start. You can add value to the things that is existing. I think I'm going on a fast read now. You can start with story, with quotation, a question. Sometimes you can ask a striking question in your introduction page that can cause your readers to ask, what is he trying to say? They want to read the book. And you answer. Then the other one, the foreword of your book, is not so important. If you must do it, be careful who you give it to do. Be very careful. When I wrote my first book, the man who forwarded my first book, Obaso Jagbase, with his wife, At that time, now let me tell you the consequence that has to do with when the wrong person forward your book. Obazu stopped help my book to sell. That book sold over, if I didn't sell that book, if I have sold over 30,000 copies of that book at that time. But the truth is, that was the season because of the kind of profile the person has and the level they are. But you know what? Immediately they left at a point because of in between things. Oga left Nigeria and somewhere over there at a point because of the influence of the man who was involved is not more felt in between Nigeria at that point at the time. The drops stopped. The only people who went keep asking for the book were the people who the book has impacted in their lives. Now let me tell you something about forwarding. Sometimes not everybody you give your book to forward. Somebody may have a good profile today. Tomorrow, if his profile changes and he becomes somebody that is most wanted in the world, what I mean, somebody who has done a crime and is being pursued, that's your book, that is a mess. So not be eager. These days what I do is I get what I call CRCR. That's short write-up from about, like my book, the book I released, The Secret of Champions. I did about research about 30 different men who made endorsement of that book. Now I get short stuff from them. Not one person to endorse that book, because that one person can determine how far that book go to. So please be very careful about that. I think number 6 now is make sure you work on your cover design. Cover design is very, very, very important. See, don't joke with your cover design. Your cover design can attract people to your life. Oh, I'm now heading to motivation. Sorry, not to your life, please. Can attract people to your book, cover design. Sometimes you can see a good nonsense book. I'm sorry to use the word good nonsense book. The content is zero. But if you look at the cover, Jesus, you are crazy about it. But when you open the book, you are disappointed. Now the truth is that there is something about cover design. That is why each of my book, I work with pictures. Whatever topic I have, it becomes, I run my vision around that topic with a picture to create what I want. So please don't joke with the cover design. Every great book has 3 things that sells the book: the title, the cover design, and the message. And the message has 3 dimensions: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Remember, every great book has about 3 things that sells that book: the title, the cover design, and the message. The message has about 3 divisions. The message to sell so, which is the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Then the number 7, before I begin to round off from here, send your book to a proofreader. Do you know why I'm shaking my head? I have been dealt with this. My first book was a mess. It took me 3 years to write that book then. 3 years. But you know what? I have grown beyond 3 years to writing a book in 30 days, and that's what I'm trying to do for you today. But you know what? I was so excited to release the book. After writing the information, I just sent it to publisher, place, decided. When the book came out, the error that was, in fact, the error that was in this book, one of my mentors, when I sent it to him out of excitement, says, I have written a book. When he sent the book back to me, I could not differentiate between my write-up and the biros I saw in the book. In fact, the man rewrite my book for me. At the point, he said to me, guys, what you did is a mess. He said, you have a book of good idea, but your proofreading, your editing, zero. Some people ask me, what is the difference between proofreading and editing? Proofreading does more with grammatical errors, is what some of these things that need to be fixed in place is what it does. Punctuation on that one. But editing does more of transpose. Sometimes an editor do what they call he transpose your main idea. It doesn't change your idea, but if you feel that what you wrote is long, he can summarize what you wrote and still maintain your main idea. He adds value to some of the things you have done. So let me tell you, don't be in a haste to release a book. I tell people that the longest part of publishing is editing and proofreading. That place you will not, if you shortcut that place, your book will become a mess. They have some of my books today, I'm sending it back for editing. I'm sending it back for proofreading. Because see, your book represents who you are. When your book travel, people come all the way from China, all the way from South Africa, who have read my book online and online. And listen, if that book has been a mess, most of them will not even, they say this is nonsense. So the truth is that don't be in a haste to release a book. Take your time and pay well. Some of you don't know the reason why you need to pay well for. You're supposed to say, what are you reading? What are you like one of the things we do in the office here? We do that. We are into this editing and proofreading some of the books. And some people tell us, sir, about 80 pages. What are we paying for? It's not small thing. Just read and edit. That is the main. In fact, that is the brain power behind your book. If your book will go far, that is one of the. If you can even make it so well, design it well, but if it's mess up, proofread there, and if you mess it up in the way it's edited, then your book will come back to you, and I think you'll be the one to read it for yourself. So some readers, let me say this: your book will be a mess when it's not well proofreaded. Some readers cannot stand to see error in a book. I was in a bus with a woman a few years ago. She was reading a book. And she was reading, and it was you know, I understand that language. For me, that language is that when I'm reading a book and I catch a rhema hit on me, I go, but I didn't know that this one was not a rhema. I thought something caught her. She just said, nonsense. She's Nigeria books, nonsense. I was forced, because as a writer, I was forced to know the reason why she acted the way she did. And I said to her, please. I said to her, sir. I said to her, ma, please. What is the secret? Why do you act this way? She said to me that what she's saying here is a mess. Grammatical error is something that she cannot hide. There is much on this book. Now the truth is, you cannot hide that when it comes to writing. So learn to proofread your book well. A well-proofread book attracts people to your book. That is the truth. Then the last thing I will say now is, the last place your book will land is the publisher's office. The publisher's office. Yeah. I'm a publisher by profession. One of the things we do, we publish books for readers, for writers. So we run a publishing company called Bookerson Unitech. Now let me tell you, after the whole said and done, the last place your book will come to is your publisher place. Now, he is a person who turns the raw material into a finished product. If your book will make impact, if you have done a good proofreading, editing, everything good write-up, and you take it to one Paco, sorry to use the word Paco publisher that used to do nail, he will mess up the book. In fact, you will hate the things you say. Now the truth is, when it comes to publisher, be very, very selective about it. And I want to advise you on this. Some of you who is running from one publishing firm looking for publishers who will publish your book for free, maybe they will just take it. Some of this, I'm not trying to speak down, but as a young writer, when I was into this writing, I remember that some of my manuscript I sent to some of the top, I won't mention names, some of the top publishing companies in Nigeria. Today I did not see that man, that stuff, and some of my write-up, I saw it in their books, in different books they are writing it. And I can't sue them at that time because I did not get the right license for it at that time before I sent it to them. So I would advise you, if you are an upcoming writer, start somewhere. Find somebody you can trust, a publishing house you can trust that can be able to work on your material. Except if you want to publish outside the country. You can also approach us. We also help people to publish. Now, you must not joke with that area. That is the man who turns your write-up to a finished product. Now, the few of the things I will say, I think I'm done on the 8th step. I will give you 5 errors every writer must avoid. If you must be a good writer, there are 5 errors you must avoid. I think I've given you so much. I think I have to stop at this point because you have received so much. But you know what? I feel somebody in the house is telling me, sir, don't stop. Keep on. I'll just give you a few of those things and I'll shut it down from here. 5 errors every writer must avoid. If you must be a good writer, there are 5 things you need to avoid. 1, don't write in old time. Old time. Writing has come to another level. You don't write in 19th century way or in 16th century the way they used to write. Things you have to upgrade yourself. Now, if you want to appeal to today's audience, you must go through today's authors and check out their writing style. Very, very important. You don't go back to 19th century and you want to have an impact to today's readers. No. You must, people who have been making impact, men like John Mason, John Maxwell, T.D. Jakes, these people who have written books, go through their books. As you read their books, it helps you. You know, one of the things I learned about writing style, I did a book for a woman, I call it a ghostwriting job. When I finished writing that was my first job ever. When I finished that job, she said to me, Ebuka, I don't like what you did. After 3 months of writing, she said, why is it? He said, this write-up it's not my voice, it's not my style. That means every person has a style. Now, as a writer, if you want to go into ghostwriting, before you write any book for any person, find a style, the voice of that person, so that whatever you wrote down can resonate with the person, so you can feel it that it is his own work. Very, very important. So, don't write in order. Learn to read today's book. Find men who are making impact. Read their books to help you. Don't write long paragraph. You are writing just, you want to express something. You have long paragraph. Learn to cut it. People, when things become so ambiguous, people tend to be tired of reading. Paragraph putting stories in full. Block actually kills the reader. When you are batch hearing stories, please, I want to advise, don't mess up the issue of story. Because I told you to be sharing story, you start, you went and bring from the time the person was giving birth, when he came to the world, what he did when he was small. No, there are some things you cut off. You don't make it long. Short those things up. Number 3, don't make up tough scenarios. You don't go into writing, making your writing a tough one, that your readers will have to go through pains before they understand what you are trying to pass to them. Go straight to the point. Then number 4, keep your title short and use easy language. The reason why some people remember some books today because of the title. Short titles, not long one. Short one. Some of my books, what do you see? Just keep moving in, dream to the top, the secret of champion, get there, get back to the fight. These are my titles. It's very short and you can remember it anywhere, any day. That's how it operates. Leave your ego aside. You don't write with your ego in place. You don't start, sometimes when you say a speaker, I don't want to go into their place of speaking, but the truth is, when you are writing, you don't express your feeling, express a fact, not feeling. Make sure that what you are saying is facts. Some people some people are more endowed with their ego, that whereby it reflects in their writing. Your client wants to see your writing, not your ego. These things are what they want to say. I think I'm done. I'll only give you a mathematical analysis of publishing a book within 30 days. Some of the things I said. Step 1, if you have followed me, you know that what I said from step 1. Step 1 to step 6 will take you 16 days to accomplish. When you find a title, you get a chapter, get what you want to, these things will take you 16 days. Why? Step 7 will take you 7 days. That step 7 is what we call is the editing part of it. The editing part of it sometimes takes 3 weeks, sometimes takes 2 weeks. But if you have a number of handfuls of people who are doing it, they can do it in 7 days. The last stage is what we call it will take about 8 days. That is publishing. When your book enters the press, how it's going to move from the press or the one is going to take just 7 days. Now, these are the points you have to take notes. You must be a lover of books before you can write. These things are thought-provoking. If you hate books, please don't go near, don't even dream of becoming a writer. I hate books when I was young, but when I saw enough reason why I need to write, I started loving. So the truth is that you cannot give birth to what you hate. So first of all, you must be a lover of books. I have no gifts of writing, but all I have is enough reason why I need to write. What is keeping me? People will say, I say I'm not a gifted writer. I only saw enough reason to write. I have a story and I must share my story. When I knew what I passed through as a young child, I said to myself, people need to hear my story. How will I do that? I know I have to write. So I have to see. Sometimes you may not know that you have all this inside of you, but when you put it into action, you activate it. Let me go to this area. God is waiting for you to activate all He has fixed inside of you. There are so many things deposited on your inside. All you need is an activation. When you encounter with Him, everything will be activated. So the truth is, I am not a gifted writer. I am not Chinua Achebe. I am not Chinua Amanda. I am not some of the Wole Soyinka. I am not, but I am just a young man who have enough reason to write, and a man who has been activated by grace. When grace activates you, you will become a star. That is what happens. Now hear this. You are regarded as an authority in your field. You will never be regarded as an authority in your field until you have a product that your name is tagged on it. No matter who you are, until you have a product. The product can be book, but one thing about books travels far. Once you have a product that your name is, then whatever you are saying, I have been invited several to places to speak. Not because they have had me speak anywhere, but they got my book when I went to South Africa 2 years ago to speak. They just got my book on online, that is Amazon. The woman invited me and said, "Sir, we need you." She has never had me anywhere, but because she has seen my book, she knew that a man who has written a book is an authority in a place. He has a skill in this area. So do all you can. If you have a story, don't hide your story. The world want to hear your story. Write it anyhow. If you are confused about this, I will give you a few of my information. You can contact me. I am here to help you. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the Spirit to lay on you. Start it. Let it just start. You will get to the place. And hear this. You read books related to your calling. That is very important. You have to be jack of all trades, but at the point in your life, you have to restrict yourself and tell yourself, which area am I crazy about? I read different kinds of books, but there are about three areas that I don't joke with. That is my leadership aspect of it, success and development, self-empowerment. All these things are the things where I'm crazy about it. And the truth is, these are the things that keep me going. So once you find this in place, your life will change. Now, these are some of companies' information I want to pass to you. We run a publishing company here. You can contact us for some of your publishing work, books. We get ISB number for our clients. If you have a publisher, you want to get ISB number, we can do that for you. Now, the reason why it's important, if you have a book, I would advise you, this is an information to everybody. Anytime you start writing a book, you have a title, please, I beg you, first of all, go and secure your ISB number, International Standard Book Number. That is very important, because you know why? If anybody goes to your system while you are writing that book, and the person copies everything you have done and send it to his own system and go before you to register it and in his own name, if he sues you to court, you will pay him good money. Why? Because ISB number only recognize the person who registered it first. So when you have an idea, you are writing a book, make sure you secure the copyright of that book. Very, very important. We can ghostwrite for you. We do ghostwriting. For pastors, this lady, some of pastors who are busy, we do what we call ghostwriting job for them. Some of them, they don't have time to write. It's a simple job. Some of our papas, I don't want to start calling them, these people don't have time to write again. What they do for them is transcription. Sometimes ghostwriting work. They are too busy to sit down to write. So if you find yourself in that category, you don't have, not everybody will not write, but everybody is licensed, may have a book, because when you have a story, you can have a book. But not everybody will write. But if you have a story, you can have a book. We can help you make that happen. So if you need us, you can contact us. You can have, we'll help you, we'll give you a good discount for your publishing. We'll also help you to get your books on Amazon online, whereby your book can be sold in about 85 countries of the world. We'll help you do that. I think I will be leaving my contact with you for those who want to know more about me. My name is Ebuka Ewuzie again, and you can get me on Facebook. My full name on Facebook, not the link, full name on Facebook, Ebuka Ewuzie Ikechukwu. Ebuka Ewuzie Ikechukwu. That is me on Facebook. My phone number, my email first. My email is bokasin06@gmail.com. bukasim06@gmail.com. I will give you our office number in case because releasing my main line, that means I won't sleep. Let me give you the one. If you call, once I'm in office, I will always be picking it. 08066786250. 08066786250. We are here to change the world. I want to advise you, listen to this. Don't ever believe that anything can stop you. The only man that can stop you from becoming everything you are called to be is you. There is a destiny in you that is waiting to manifest. Listen to this. You can be a millionaire. Remove that poverty mentality. You are not born to remain where you are. A wise man said, if you are born into a poor family, say it's not your fault. But when you die as a poor man, it becomes your fault. Everything you need is on your inside. If I can succeed, any man on earth can succeed. You are not a mistake. God has placed you here on assignment. And I must tell you, don't die with that assignment. The world wants to hear your voice. The world is not complete until it hears your story. You have a story to tell. And I can't wait to celebrate with your books, your write-up, and the things you have. Any day, anytime, I'm here for you, to hear from you, to give you advice on what to do to move ahead. Thank you. God bless you. Keep moving. See you at the top.